Calaroga Shark Media.
From Quantico, where you don't want to say the N-word, this is Ballad.
Hold on a second. Don't get us canceled. Let's hit this. I'm Patrick Gutfeld, and President Trump gave a 72-minute speech at Marine Corps Base Quantico on Tuesday, and during his remarks, he decided to share his personal nickname for nuclear weapons. The other N-word, nuclear. Trump told the room full of military officers that Russian spokesperson Dmitry Medvedev had been throwing around nuclear threats about 3 months ago. So he moved a submarine or two over to the coast of Russia. You know, casual Tuesday activities. Just parking a couple of nuclear submarines like they're Honda Civics. The president explained his reasoning. We can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are 2 N-words, and you can't use either of them. Now, I don't want to tell the president how to do his job, but maybe when you're clarifying that there are 2 N-words that nobody should use, you might want to reconsider using that particular letter as your go-to abbreviation system. There are 25 other letters available. I'm really hoping we use the I word. Trump went on to reassure everyone that if it comes down to it, we have more nuclear weapons than anyone else. We have better ones. We have newer ones. Which is comforting in the same way it's comforting when someone says, "Don't worry, I have the newest flamethrower." I mean, great! We can create more nuclear winter than the other guys. This isn't even the first time he's made this reference. Back in June, Trump posted on Truth Social about Medvedev casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear. He even put an exclamation point in parentheses, which is a bold punctuation choice when discussing potential nuclear annihilation. Medvedev, for his part, had threatened to activate the Soviet Union's dead-hand doomsday nuclear system, a device that automatically launches nuclear weapons if it senses Moscow has been attacked. So we've officially entered the set it and forget it phase of nuclear deterrence. And on August 1st, Trump followed through, announcing he'd ordered 2 nuclear submarines to appropriate regions. Which raises the question, what makes a region appropriate for a nuclear submarine? Is there a Zagat guide for this? President Trump met with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer at the White House on Monday for what attendees described as a serious and substantive conversation about avoiding a government shutdown. No deal was reached, but everyone agreed it was very productive and professional. Then, a few hours later, Trump posted an AI-generated deepfake video of the 2 Democratic leaders to social media. The video shows Jeffries wearing a sombrero, standing silently while mariachi music plays in the background, as a fake Schumer delivers a manufactured rant about giving healthcare to undocumented immigrants so they'll vote Democrat. You know, the kind of thing you post after a serious substantive meeting. On Tuesday morning, standing on the Capitol steps with dozens of House Democrats, and less than 14 hours before a potential government shutdown, Jeffries responded, "Mr. President, when I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face." When I'm back in the Oval Office is a pretty confident thing to say while standing outside during a funding crisis, but I respect the energy. Other House Democrats were equally thrilled about the video. Representative Gregory Meeks of New York said, "I think that we are getting close to a constitutional problem because I think the president is sick. I think there's something wrong with the man, really." Which is a diplomatic way of saying what many people were probably thinking. Anyway, release the Epstein files. Be right back. President Trump announced on Tuesday that Pfizer has agreed to offer significantly discounted prescription drugs to American consumers, with some medications seeing price cuts of 50 to 100%. The drugs will be available through a new federal government website called TrumpRx. TrumpRx, not AmericaRx, not USRx. Trump made the announcement in the Oval Office alongside Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, who explained what inspired this sudden attack of conscience. The president threatened 100% tariffs on drugs made outside the United States. The president is absolutely right. Tariff is the most powerful tool to motivate behaviors, Mr. President, Bourla said, and clearly motivated ours, right? Yes, nothing screams we genuinely care about affordable health care. Quite like a CEO admitting, "You threatened to bankrupt us, so here we are." Very heartwarming, really tugs at the emotions. Bourla called the old pricing system an unfair situation that Pfizer was now heroically reversing, which is a fascinating way to describe decades of price gouging. Sorry about that whole charging you 10 times what we charge Europeans thing. Our bad. Anyway, we'd like a parade now. Trump said this would save American consumers and taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars a year, which sounds impressive until you remember that pharmaceutical companies make hundreds of billions of dollars a year. So we're talking about them giving back roughly the amount they spend on office coffee. Portions of today's program were made with the help of RX and AI.